Let me tell you something. Sometimes life just slaps you with a story you never signed up for. And if you blink, you might just miss your chance to make it matter. I learned that the hard way, standing on a dusty train platform out in Dry Creek, boots pinching, heart thumping like it was auditioning for a role I hadn't read for. I was supposed to meet a man, a good man, if you believed his letters, who promised me a home, 7 chickens, fresh eggs, and something close to hope. Instead, there was just a barefoot boy squinting at me like he was trying to decide if I was real or just another daydream blown in on the wind. "You Clara Mayfield?" he asked, all elbows and suspicion. I managed a nod, because what else do you do? "Pa's dead," he said, "and if you think that lands easy, you're wrong. Snake bite, 2 days back. Buried him ourselves." I wanted to laugh, or maybe cry. Hard to say which was closer to the truth. "I was supposed to marry him," I said, sounding small. "He sent for me." The boy shrugged, like the whole world was just another disappointment. "He wrote the letter after he got bit. Said maybe you'd still come." So there I was, no husband, no plan, just 7 kids, or 6 now that little Jenny was gone, and a house on the hill that wasn't much more than a suggestion with a porch. The oldest, Sam, he picked up my trunk like he'd been carrying the weight of the world since he could walk, and I just followed, wondering what on earth I'd stepped into. Inside, it smelled like ash and loss. There was a table set for supper, thin broth, 1 potato diced like it had to stretch into a miracle, a baby asleep in a crate, and kids staring at me like I was both the problem and the answer. "I'm Ruth," said a girl with braids, eyes too old for her face. "I stir things. Mama used to, before." She trailed off, but she didn't have to finish. You could feel the empty in that room, heavy as wet wool. So I did what you do when you've got nothing but stubbornness and a canteen half full. I dumped in what little pork I'd smuggled past the conductor, tossed in dry herbs, and told them to eat slow, let their stomachs remember kindness. I watched them eat, and I didn't take a bite, because sometimes claiming someone's hunger is the first stitch in fixing a broken house. Later, after the baby settled and the table was cleared, I sat out on the porch, just breathing, trying to understand how I could arrive with nothing and still be the only thing holding these kids together. That's when I found the ledger, stashed under a floorboard, pages of births, deaths, half-finished plans, and a note in a shaky hand. "Clara Mayfield arrives June 3rd. Treat her kindly. She has nothing, but we'll give her everything we've got." That was him, Richard Walker. Dead, but somehow still betting on a stranger to save his kids. Sam found me with the ledger, said Pa told him to dig the grave deep and wait at the station. "Didn't want to scare you off," he mumbled. I just nodded. There wasn't anything left to say except, "I'm not scared. And I'm not trapped, either." I wanted him to know, right then, that I wasn't leaving. Not when the baby still needed milk, or when Ruth still stirred the stew like she was waiting for her mama to come home. Not when Sam, barely 12, had more grit than most grown men. But you know how it goes. Peace never lasts long enough to catch your breath. Next morning, I spotted smoke curling up from the east ridge, too dark, too far for chimney smoke. Sam saw it too. "That's not right," he muttered. And just like that, you could feel the fear settling back in, soft as a shadow but twice as cold. That night, while the stew boiled longer than it had to, I wrapped the baby tighter, kept the older boys close, and after everyone was asleep, I stepped out to the porch, shawl pulled tight, eyes wide open. Sam joined me, his jaw set like he was daring the night to blink first. "Think someone's coming for us?" he asked. "Maybe for me, maybe for the land. Maybe your pa owed more than time." And I told him I'd fight first. He laughed, just a little, just enough. Sure enough, a man showed up not long after. Tall, rough, moved like someone who'd lived through worse. "Looking for Richard Walker," he said. "He's gone," I replied, steady as I could manage. The man tipped his hat, introduced himself as Warren, Richard's brother, pulled out a ledger, same as ours, only full of letters Richard wrote but never got answered, until the last one, the one with my name. "He wanted a heart in this house," Warren said, "not just a roof." I thought Warren came to take the land, but he just handed me a key to a safe under the floorboards, full of papers and a letter from Richard. If you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and you came anyway. Not because I chose you, but because I trusted you'd choose them. Underneath was a pouch with 7 buttons, all different, a mother's collection, Proof that sometimes love is nothing fancy, just small things kept safe. The real twist? It wasn't gold or fortune, just a deed and signed, a handful of memories, and permission. No, a plea to stay. And I did. Because sometimes what you inherit isn't land or money, but the faith that someone, somewhere, believed you could finish what they started. Things got harder before they got better. Sickness swept through the house. Jonah, Ruth, the baby, all burning up with fever. I ran ragged, boiled tea, hummed songs I didn't know I remembered, begged out loud to a God I wasn't sure was listening. Warren came back, built a steam tent, stayed through the worst of it. For days, we barely breathed, waiting for the fever to break. But it did. Ruth woke up hungry. The baby whimpered. Sam whispered, "You stayed." And I just cried, because I'd never meant anything truer. But word gets around fast in a place like this. Faster than fever, faster than hope. Soon enough, 2 men showed up waving papers and smirks, saying no wedding meant no rights. These kids were wards of the county now. Sam stepped forward, rifle shaking, but eyes steady. Ruth crossed her arms like a soldier. "She's our family now," Sam said. "That's not your decision." One man spat, but Ruth cut him off. "It's not yours, either." Then Warren strolled up, shotgun across his arm, and suddenly those men found somewhere else to be. We stitched up the house, quilts from feed sacks, windows lined with wool, laughter where silence used to live. Neighbors brought flour, a widow traded apples for firewood. Even the preacher sent books with a note. "You've done what most of us only pray for." And then, one day, a girl no older than 16 showed up barefoot, baby on her hip, eyes hollow with the same hunger I'd worn the day I arrived. We took her in. Her name was Liza. She didn't need saving, just a reminder she mattered. She stayed, and in the dead of winter, our house became a fire that never went out. Spring came slow, muddy boots, chickens in the yard, laughter at bedtime. Even when the county men came back, Ruth met them at the door, rifle by her side. "We've got a judge's order," they said. "We've got a mother," she replied. That was that. Some truths are heavier than paper. Years pass. The house grows. More rooms, a swing on the porch, a coop full of real chickens. But some things don't change. The sound of children's feet on wood, the weight of a promise kept, the way a family gets built from the bones of loss and the stubbornness to love anyway. If you ever find yourself lost, hungry, or just wondering if the world's got any good left in it, know this. There's always soup on the fire, a bed in the corner, and someone here who understands what it means to stay, even when leaving would be easier. So tell me, what do you think? Is family what we're given, or what we fight for? Drop your thoughts below. I've got stories for days, but this one belongs to all of us now.